Hey everybody, Terminus here with another episode of Monster right here for you. I'm already a little bit tired, I gotta warn you, but I think we're gonna be able to watch an episode of Monster, maybe two, I hope two, but we'll see. Either way, I can't wait to see how this goes on. This episode's title is Unwanted Job. It's episode 58, and slowly but steadily, we are moving towards kind of the finale. So let's see what this is all about. Monster episode 58 starts in 3, 2, 1.
こんなことになるんだったら
Turn out this. Ooh.
あんな仕事引き受けるんじゃなかった
Okay. A shootout?
最初から
Some bloody
気
business.
に入らなかったんだ
Oh, was that the dude that killed the Leopards, or is this something else?
大丈夫だ気を楽に持て
Ooh.
そんな傷どうってことはね
That's not a scratch, my dude.
病院じゃねえって言ってるんだろ
Gangsters.
病院じゃねえヘルブラウホテルだわかるよお前の言いたいことは病院に行ったら殺が来てお前はまた無償送りだだがなあいにく今そのモグリの医者のところへ行く時間はねえヘルブラウホテルへ無償より命だ生きてりゃなんとかしろヘルブラウホテルだ
You're gonna be coughing blood, dude.
だから女と関わるとろくなことがないお願いだ早くドクター天馬のところへ
Alright, he knows Tenma. And Tenma is at the Hellblow Hotel. Wherever that might be. Maybe. Oh no, I was hoping I wouldn't see this guy again.
ならサイン帳を持ってくればよかったかなふざけてると殺すぞ
I was hoping I wouldn't see this dude again. Holy shit.
入れこの男が私の部下のマルティンです。お前はもう下がっていい。は？その男と二人きりで話すと言っているんだ。あ、はい。本当に何かヘマしたら殺すからな。
Is that the dude that we saw in the car in Nina's memories?
座ってもいいですか？どうぞ。赤ん坊のところでは何年になる？もう3年になりますかね。その前は刑務所か。何年間 ?8 年です。殺しか。そんなとこです。その割に早く出られたじゃないか。模範囚でしたからね。仕事に関しても模範的だそうだね。
What kind of jobs?
どんな仕事でもね。
Any job.
ただ、女絡みの仕事はちょっとね。
Okay.
別に仕事は選びませんよ。でも、あまり女と関わり合いになりたくないというか。女絡みなんだよ。しばらくの間、ある女の身の回りの面倒を見てもらいたい。
Protecting somebody.
嫌な仕事だ。デュッセルドルフに行ってある女を連れてきてほしい。
Düsseldorf.
女と関わり合いになりたくないというのはこの仕事にはうってつけだよ。ビジネスライクに仕事をしてもらえそうだからね。
Should he be, or doesn't he want to work with them because he couldn't be professional? Is that Eva?
エヴァ・ハイネマンさん。
Thought so.
あんた誰？
マルティン。まあ、俺の名前なんてどうでもいいんですが、フランクフルトまであなたを連れてくるように言われまして。
誰に？
メガネをかけた上等なスーツを着た男で。
メガネの男？ロベルトの一味じゃないわよね。
俺もよく知らないんですけどね。
So
どうやら大物らしい。嫌なら無理にとは言いませんよ。俺もあまり気乗りしないんで。
狙われてるのよ、今私。
おお。
あなた、ボディーガードしてくれる？
まあ一応そういったことも仕事に入ってますんで。
待ってて。持って。行くわよ。あの男に殺されるよりマシだわ。
I mean,
感じの悪い女だ。このケツの振り方、香水の匂い。ムカムカする。
something tells me he's gonna get involved anyway. Maybe the bullet wound that we saw earlier.
いや、ご希望なら何かお話ししましょうか。
別に話したくないわ。
それなら黙ってましょ
う。お酒は？お酒ないの？
あいにく俺は飲まないんで。
食堂車見てくる。
I mean, maybe she doesn't have enough money.
そうですか、一人旅でらっしゃる。実は私も一人でしてね。ああ、よかったらご宿泊先を教えていただけたら。ああ、これ私の名刺を。
何やってんだ。
何って、この女が酒くれって言うから。
この女に手出すな。
Poor guy. I mean, he's a sleazebag probably, but still poor guy. Such a contrast. Also interesting how we have like the Tenma theme, like not the Tenma theme, but the Eva Tenma theme.
あなたは飲んだって構わない。
きっとお母さん、飲まずにいられないことがあったのよ。
そうですかね。
そうよ。私だって飲まずにいられないことがあって。
いや、どうぞ話してください。黙って食べるのがお嫌ならね。
長くなるわよ。
ねえ、どうぞ。
私には婚約者がいてね。日本人の外科医でね。天才的な腕の。
Interesting. I don't think we've ever seen Eva opening up to anybody about Tenma and stuff. And not necessarily like that.
どう？驚いた？私はその男を殺そうとしたのよ。
でも撃たなかった。 それなら俺の話と比べればまだマシだ。
Okay.
あんたの話って何よ。言いなさいよ。
俺は撃っちゃいましたからね。ベッドルームで他の男にまたがっている彼女を、その男もろとも銃の弾が切れるんでね。もう部屋中女の血の匂いやら男の血の匂いやら香水の匂いやら。
Not worth the 8 years, my dude.
時はそんな中に俺は一人立っててね。
バカね、あんたって。
でしょ？
I do wonder why he's asking for Tenma in like the previous scene though. Crazy. How does Tenma fit into this? Maybe because she told him about him, but I don't know. How would they know where he is, right?
このホテルで依頼人が待っています。
あなた、人を殺したって言ったでしょ。触らないで。何号室？
お連れしますよ。
あなたの格好はこのホテルには似つかわしくないわ。ここで待ってらっしゃい。
1014号室です。
Wonder what he's thinking. Yeah, because she's suddenly so cold again, right?
メガネの男があの女に何を話すのか知らない。だがあの女がその話を断れば、この嫌な仕事も終わり、あの女ともこれっきりだ。どうしました？顔色が優れませんけど。
悪い話じゃなかったわ。このカード好きに使っていいそうよ。何やってんの？早く行くわよ。
行くってどこへ？
ショッピングよ。
It was like, oh boy, here we go. Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, to be fair, dude, the job could be worse. You just have to sit around and watch out. I mean, carrying the bags shouldn't be part of the job description, but, you know. Funny how she immediately spends the money again. Despite not having all that much herself. I mean, she probably has enough from her father still, but it's gotta run out at some point.
私が嫌なの。一緒にいる男がそんなみすぼらしいなりじゃね。これがいいわ。あとネクタイは。
I was about to say.
試着してごらんなさい。
Of course. All comes back to Tenma.
ネクタイか。最悪だな。
どう？
やー、
うん、それなりになったわね。ただ、ネクタイはきちんと締めなさい。
I wouldn't like to, honestly.
そういう肩を怒らせたチンピラ歩きはおやめなさい。
普通に歩いてるつもりですがね。
あなたの普通は普通じゃないのよ。これからあなたは私の護衛をしなくちゃならないの。どんなところへ行っても私が恥ずかしい思いをしないようにしてもらうわ。それがあなたの仕事でしょ。
そう、それが俺の仕事だ。
I hope you're getting paid well, my dude.
肘をつかない。フォークは左手、ナイフは右。音を立てて食べない。
どうやら本当らしい。
何が？
あなたの話ですよ。大病院の院長の令状だったって話。
嘘だと思った？
この町に連れてくるまではどう見てもアル中女にしか見えなかった。
見違えた？
どっから見ても令状様だ。
これが私の本来の姿よ。
You sure?
エヴァ・ハイネマンが本来あるべきところへ帰ってきたのよ。
何ですかそれ？
パーティーの招待状。
パーティー？
そう。これが私に与えられた仕事。
仕事？
いくつかのパーティーに出席すること。ただそれだけ。
それはよかった。楽しそうな仕事で。
あなたも一緒よ。私にふさわしい男としてエスコートしてもらうわ。
ますます嫌な仕事だ。
He ain't slouching as much, so... I wonder what parties he's supposed to attend here.
どうですか？久々にホームグラウンドに戻った気分は。何がそんなにおかしいんだ。ここに集まった連中は一体何の話をしているんだ。天気の話か株の話か、もうどこの国の言葉で話しているのかさえわからない。胸が悪くなってきた。
そんなところにいたの。
ああ、俺にはお構いなく楽しんでってください。
行くわよ。
え？
帰るのよ。
ちょっと。
このパーティーにはいなかったわ。仕事は終わりよ。
ここにはいないって誰が？
連れて出て。どこでもいいから早くここから連れて出て。
なぜ女の手が震えていたのか。この時はわからなかった。
Is it fear or sadness? She seemed almost anxious, right? Maybe it's just the pain.
今日はなんとか生きながらえたわ。
どうしたんです？あなたの本来いるべきところへ戻れたんじゃないんですか？
Doesn't mean that she might like it.
毎日があんな生活だった。あの世界に入れば
You would be yourself again.
戻ってくると思ってた。
But you changed.
でも今となっちゃこのバーぐらいが落ち着くようになりましたか？
ここも私のいる場所じゃない。ここも違う。あそこも違う。どこへ行っても私のいる場所なんてない。そんなこと分かっていたわ。私ね、 この仕事が終わったらきっと殺されるわ。
You think or you
デュ
want
ッセ
to?
ルドルフでボロボロのままロベルトに殺されるよりマシかと思った。綺麗に着飾ったエヴァ・ハイネマンで殺される方がマシだと思った。死んじゃえば一緒なのにね。
守ってやろうと思った。俺の悪い癖が出た。その時俺は不意にこの女を守ってやろうと思った。
And this is what he didn't want, right? Be vulnerable. Care for somebody. What has led up to this firefight, though? Maybe it's not important.
一体なんでこんなことになっちまったんだ。
それをこれからドクター天馬に話しに行くんだ。
しっかりしろ。もうすぐだ。もうすぐ着く。
ネクタイ、こんなものなけりゃあんなところに行かないで済んだんだ。あんな恐ろしいものを見ないで済んだんだ。
The fuck happened, dude? I think we're gonna probably jump very quickly into the next one. This was more of like a developing story, kinda. I love how the ED still evolves. Let's see. Parties. And Johan. And Tenma. The man who saw the devil. Alright. Run it back for a second. Not for long, though. Not for long. Just gonna skip through it a little bit. I really like these kinds of episodes where it's like, okay, we're gonna jump you forward and give you the intermediate conclusion, and then we're gonna jump back and explain to you how it all happened and who this even is. That's really cool sometimes, because you're like intrigued. You're like, wait, how do they know Tenma? What's happening here? And he's not doing good. He's not doing good at all. Alright. The baby, who is like the most ugly motherfucker in the entire series, who I hoped I didn't ever have to see again, but he's still alive. Holy shit. And this man, who I'm pretty sure we've seen him in the flashback with Nina, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's one of the people who we've seen before, who was like the one holding Nina in the mansion for Johan to come, but no, this was the guy who was killed, actually. So so one of the other two guys, I guess. Could be both. This guy exudes what he's supposed to represent. He's a thug. He's a little bit tired of everything. Maybe he has some experiences where he's not proud of, right? Like shooting his then girlfriend and her lover, and going to prison for 8 years. Not worth it, honestly, not worth it. Crime of passion, obviously probably gonna take a little bit less than an actual planned murder, because it did happen impromptu. It wasn't planned or anything, but still, that's, yeah. Not only do you have 8 years of your life that you basically more or less wasted, but also afterwards you're not gonna find any job that is not a thug job. So At least, especially in those times. So, not great. Now we find out where Ava actually is and that she's not with Roberto. Great stuff. Or maybe she is at this point, but we don't know. Roberto is not involved right now, so there's that. Also, this habit, this typical like habit of her to, she could have went to the next car over, but she was like, I'm gonna look for like the board restaurant or whatever and see if they got some alcohol, right? Because could have been easy, but she walked past this dude with like his weird whatever whiskey bottle in the concealed package, and she was immediately like, I need that. So there's like the immediate, like, she doesn't even have the restraint to go to further than that, right? She immediately just has to consume, which really hard, but obviously it's also, she's on a train, so she has to wait until they arrive at their designated location. And in the process of that, and well, since they are not talking with one another, and she's one of the people who is harder to get along with, right? When she was being like, well, don't you want to talk? And he's like, well, we don't need to talk. I think what she expected or wanted is him to just start talking and just doing it. She's used to being like, oh, I don't care, but actually wants the things that she kind of roundabout alludes to. So when that doesn't happen, the problem is, and the problem why she even wanted to talk in the first place, is she doesn't want to be alone with her thoughts. And now we got this train travel, and the dude right next to me, he doesn't talk a lot, and since I told him I'm not really in the mood to talk, and I acted like that, he isn't gonna initiate on his own. So what I have to do is actually just look for the next best thing that helps me cope with everything, with stress, and helps me just drown out the constant thoughts and the constant fears and the pain and everything, and that's alcohol. So immediately going for the alcohol. This is brutal. I don't know what she thinks about it. I mean, she's definitely shocked and maybe a little bit afraid of him here. That he is so unscrupulous to not care and just kick this person when they're on the ground. Very, very dirty, especially since that person was maybe a little bit of a sleazebag, but that's about all, right? And she initiated. So it's not even necessarily his fault. This was just a drunk dude who was was on the train, and he was like, hey, can I have some alk? And they started talking, and maybe he got his hopes up, right? Because she's pretty for his, relative to his standards, and yeah, tough, really tough. But she opens up to him after this, which is very interesting, and talks about Tenma. I don't know if she talked about Tenma in the past, really. I know she had a lot of lovers. I know she had a lot of like people that she drank with and then just like complained with and whatnot. But I do feel like this is the first time that the show really shows us of her just talking to somebody unrelated about Tenma, right? She's talking what that she tried to kill him and all of that, and he opens up as a result of that as well, where he was like, hey, I actually did it, and I kind of low-key regret it. And you do have that first lingering here and the human connection that he feels, right? He's already getting attached, which ain't great. And this is when he wants to actually detach himself. Great shot, by the way, up the building and implying that somebody's standing up there by the window like he did in the beginning of the episode. He's like, you know what, if this is like, if she rejects it, it's over and I can just go my way. And this is him trying to detach himself because he's already growing attached. She's walking out. She's her usual bitch cold self, but she's like, "We're gonna go shopping because I'm hired now, basically, and you're my hired muscle." And she dresses him up like Tenma. It's already problematic as well, right? If you think about it. Every man that she's with, she kind of sees Tenma in them and compares them to Tenma and tries to make them as close to Tenma as possible, which is... And even like that acting where she's like, I'm finally where I belong, right? This is her being convinced that when she starts acting like she used to, that everything's gonna be back to normal. And I mean the same thing with the revenge idea earlier, where she's like, I think if I get my revenge on Tenma, it's gonna be fine again, right? Things will be as they were before, kind of feeling-wise. Even though she knows obviously that things are not gonna be that way, she thinks she's gonna feel like she used to, which, nah, most of the time, no, you changed as a person because you've lived through more experience, right? You lived through more events. Like, holy shit, you got shot as well. I remember that when you were in recovery and couldn't move your legs and all that. And yeah, she positively hates it. Another connection point with him. Very interesting. She wanted to go back into that world, right? And she thought it's gonna be fine and whatnot, but she hates every minute of it. And he connects there because earlier he walks through that and he's like, I think I'm gonna be sick of that. I don't even know what language those people are speaking. And obviously, they speak normal German, but it's right. They speak in a way that is so foreign to you. I mean, that's a face of disgust and of pain. Yeah, she doesn't feel at home anywhere. Not in a bar, not in a ballroom, nowhere. Interesting how we have like the fade out thing and whatever. It's not used that often these days. Except for reactions. Alright, and this is how it ends, and we don't know why it ends like this. We know Tenma is involved in some way of shape or form. Let's check it out next episode. Let's see what happens. If it ends on a cliffhanger, well, too bad. Because I'm not gonna watch a third one. Alright, Monster episode 59. The Man Who Saw the Devil. What a title. But Monster's really good about titles anyway. 3, 2, 1.
注文はい
つものやつ。
いつものやつってなんだっけ？
いい加減に覚えろよ、ロビー。ハンバーガー、チーズはダブル、ケチャップは多め。
Double cheese. Thick tomatoes. Ugh.
そんなの覚えられっかよ。
Not a fan of tomatoes. Not fresh tomatoes, right? I'm okay with tomato sauce or whatever, but not actual fresh tomatoes.
あの中国人だかベトナム人、お前のこと嗅ぎ回ってるぜ。ここんとこよく来るんだ、あの客。お前のこと何者だって聞いてきたぜ。
あいつは中国人でもベトナム人でもない。
Oh, he knows.
おそらく日本人だ。しかも脳外科医だ。凄腕のな。なあ、そうだろう、ドクター天馬。
Tenma ain't surprised. Ooh.
でもって院長令嬢の元婚約者だ。
エヴァに何をさせるつもりだ？
エヴァ？慣れ慣れしいんだよ。いつまで婚約者のつもりだ？聞くところによりゃ、あんたもう医者どころか逃亡犯だそうじゃないか。ちゃんと入るとこ入って出直しな。模範囚ならいつか出られるかもしれねえ。
エヴァを解放しろ。
解放？ 俺は別に何の拘束もしてないぜ。それどころかあの女、毎日パーティー三昧だ。
エヴァに合わせろ。
合わせろ
And Tenma's obviously not gonna fight back.
めちゃめちゃすんなよ。
これ以上うろちょろすんな。消えな。
エヴァを
消えな。
Alright. Great first meeting. I swear Tenma is a fucking masochist. I mean, bro is a great dude, but why does he always get himself into something like that? He could have handled this so differently.
建造にあった？
ええ、2日前に。まあ一応報告までに。あなたに会いたがってましたよ。
殴ったりしてないでしょうね。
ええ。
No, not at all.
帰るわよ。
え？今日のパーティーはもうこれでいいんですか？
今日というよりも、もうパーティーは。
She's been searching for him.
多分ね。
But also not for herself, just.
これから食事でもどうだね。
行くわ。
で、彼女をレストランに送り届けて、お前はここで晩飯か。
パーティーや高級レストランの食い物に比べりゃ、ここのハンバーガーの方がよっぽどマシだ。
褒められてんだかけなされてんだかわかんねえな。
しつこいな、あんたも。また痛い目に遭いたいのか。消えろって言ってんのがわか。
Okay.
店長も動くな。動いたら撃つ。
なんとも物騒な医者だな。
誰から依頼された？お前の直接のボスが赤ん坊だということは分かっている。だがエヴァの護衛をお前に命じたのは組織のもっと上の人間だ。誰に命じられた？
知らねえよ、誰だか。
Don't know the identity.
だが顔は知ってるぜ。メガネの男だ。
メガネの男。そいつはエヴァに何をさせようとしているんだ。
だから言ったろ。パーティーに出席させてるだけだ。飲んで食って帰る。それだけだ。
それだけじゃないはずだ。そこでエヴァは何か特別な行動をとっているはずだ。
ないね。
He's looking for someone. Him, probably, I think.
そういや今日。いや、なんてことないんだ。あの女、指さしたんだ。
指さした。
Okay, interesting.
若い男をさ。
若い男。
こうやって。
Johanna.
金髪の綺麗な顔をした若い男をさ。
Johan. She was supposed to identify Johan.
エヴァは今どこに？
その例の依頼人のメガネと食事だ。
どこだ？早く言え！それはどこだ？エヴァの役目はおそらくそれで終わりだ。
That means they get rid of her.
きっと殺されるわ。もうパーティーは終わり。
エヴァはどこに？待て！
Damn. So this is how it unfolds.
彼女は たよ。君は銃を持っているかね？
いや、銃は持たないことにしてるんで。
じゃあこれを使いたまえ。彼女を殺せ。
I thought so.
あの時、いつもと同じようにパーティーは繰り広げられていた。酒の匂い、香水の匂い、意味のない笑い。
I mean, this is how it goes,
い
right?
つもと同じだった。あの瞬間を除いては。エヴァはある若い男を指さした。するとそこへメガネの男がもう一人の身なりのいい若い男を連れて現れた。それからその若い男二人は握手を交わした。その時は気づかなかったが、どうやらそれでエヴァの仕事は終わったらしい。
She isn't needed anymore. She introduced us.
やっぱりあなたが私を殺す役だったのね。どうぞ。お酒もいい具合に回ってきたし、もう思い残すことなんか何にもないから。あ、そうか。このホテルで撃つわけにはいかないか。あんた前にも自分の彼女を撃って血の海の中立ってたって言ってたもんね。外へ連れてって撃ちなさいよ。そうしないと汚した部屋弁償させられるわよ。あ、一つだけあった。思い残したこと。まあ、どうでもいいんだけどね。
What is that thing? Is that Tenma?
私、今日何をしたのかな？あんた見てたでしょ？私が指さしたの。私、きっととんでもないことしたんだわ。とんでもない人間を悪魔に引き合わせたんだわ。メフィストとファーストを引き合わせた。どうでもいいんだけどね。今日でもうパーティーに出る必要はなくなっちゃったみたいだけど、まだここにこれから先のパーティーの招待状があるわ。よかったら私が死んだ後、あんた私が何をしちゃったのか確かめといてくれない？さあ、そろそろ片付けてちょうだい。
逃げよう。俺と一緒に逃げよう。
Wonder how she takes that.
あんた
Yeah.
何か勘違いしてんじゃないの？あんたと逃げる？冗談でしょ。私たちいつからそういう関係になったのよ。
俺はもう人は殺せない。
人は殺せない？じゃあ悪魔なら殺せるっていうの？私は悪魔よ。あんたに買ってやったそのスーツもネクタイも全部健三が昔着てたのと同じ柄。わかる？あんたを健三天満に見立ててただけ。殺しなさいよ。
She's asking for it, right? She's begging for it.
早く殺しなさいよ。早く。早く殺しなさいよ。早く殺さなきゃ。あんたが殺される。
That's supposed to motivate him, or was it care for another human being?
悪魔なら殺せるか。
ねえ、起きてよ。大丈夫だよ。ちょいと酔い覚ましてください。
Ooh, is that his mother?
ダメだよ。こんなところで寝たら死んじゃうよ。いいからここに置いてっておくれよ。
Poor boy. Already taking care of his mom at that age. Holy shit. That chair couldn't have been comfortable to sleep in. Takes the necktie.
Iつも冴えねえよ。誰か俺を探しに来なかったか。
いや、誰も。ただ夕べの日本人がこれ置いてった。
His contact info?
ルブラウホテル
Mm-hmm.
何かあったらそこに連絡してくれとよ。注文はいつものやつか。
やめとくわ。クソまずいハンバーガーで腹いっぱいにしちまったら行く気がうせら。
どこ行くんだ？
パーティー。
Ooh, what is his mission? What is he gonna do? Just start shooting?
ネクタイ一本ありゃどこへでも入れる。こんなもん一本で。いた。で、あいつは悪魔なのか。手が腫れ上がるほど何人もの人間と握手を交わし、そいつはパーティー会場を後にした。
Highest. Oh no. Okay, 6th floor. I thought it was the penthouse. Convenient. He noticed.
どうぞこちらへおかけください。遠慮なさらずに。あなたも彼に会いたいんでしょ？
彼？
僕も待ってるんです。もうすぐ彼来ますよ。彼がやってくるまで何か話をしましょう。何の話がいいかな。あ、そうだ。世界が終わる話をしましょう。
その若造は喜々として喋り続けた。それはまるで今日学校であった楽しかったことを親に語って聞かせる子供のように。そうやって奴は俺に語った。
Excited.
何が世界が終わる話だ。マニアックな若造のたわごとだ。その時はそう思った。
どうでした？面白い話でしょう。楽しんでもらいましたか、マルティンさん。
なんで俺の名前を知ってるんだ？
そうだ。次はあなたの話をしましょう。赤ん坊のところでもう3年になりますか。
俺のことを調べたのか。
その前は刑務所にいた。大変でしたね、8年も。模範囚だったんでしょ？殺人を犯した割に早く出所できましたもんね。楽しかったですか？彼女との暮らし。撃ち殺したというあの彼女ですよ。名前はエッタ。
随分と悪趣味だな、坊や。
彼女はひどいドラッグ中毒でしたね。あなたは必死にドラッグから足を洗わせようとした。なかなかできることじゃないですよ。愛ですか？
痛い目に遭いてえのか。
彼女は立ち直った。あなたの帰りを食事を作って待っていた。幸せな暮らしが始まった。
殴られてえのかって聞いてるんだ。
でもあの晩、部屋に戻ると とんでもないものが目に飛び込んできた。彼女の前の男が部屋にいた。再びドラッグをやってしまった彼女は朦朧としながらもあなたの姿を見て何度も何度も言いましたね。ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
It doesn't even have to be accurate, but
でもあなたは
it's close enough.
彼女を撃ち殺した。
I mean, maybe he just had the report.
裁判ではなぜ嘘をついたんですか？彼女自殺したんでしょ？弁護士は彼女の手に硝煙反応があったので、
Ooh, okay. He didn't kill her.
ところがあなたは自分が彼女を撃ったという自供を貫いた。
But why? To keep her reputation?
彼女、あなたに殺してくれって頼んだんでしょ。当たったんですね。やっぱりそうなんだ。彼女を撃ったのはあなたじゃないんだ。彼女、あの時こう言ったんでしょ。私を撃ってって。
私を撃って。
So similar.
そんな目で見ないで。殺してよ。私を殺してよ。
俺じゃねえ。こいつ自分で撃ったんだ。俺じゃねえよ。
But he shot him.
な、俺じゃねえだろ。
Of course he did.
やっぱりそうなんだ。すごいや。当たりですね。
違う。
あなたは彼女を置き去りにした。そうやって彼女の願望を叶えてあげたんだ。
違う。
じゃあ、あなたのお母さんはあなたのお母さん、あなたが10歳の時投資してますよね。あの時もあなた、お母さんを置き去りにした。これも当たり。すごい、すごいや。驚いたな。本当に当たるんだ。あなた、
He's doing a little bit what Johan is doing. Not as good, but
そうでしょ。いつもお母さんはあなたに言ってた。ここに置いてってくれって。
he wouldn't get under everybody's skin, but
でもあの晩、
ダメだってば。こんなところで寝ちゃう。平気だよ、平気。ここに置いてっとくれよ。起きてよ。
置いてきちゃったんだ。そうですよね。あなたはお母さんを置いてきちゃったんだ。翌日知らせがあった。お母さんが投資したと。でもその時あなたは思ったんだ。僕は悪くない。お母さんが置いてってくれって頼んだからそうしたんだって。その通りですよ。あなたは悪くない。お母さんもドラッグ中毒の彼女も死にたがっていたんだ。死にたがっている人を死なせてあげただけなんだ。あなたは間違ってない。あなたは正しい。生きる苦悩から
the
彼女
guilt.
たちを解放してあげたんだ。
The guilt.
エヴァだって死にたがっているじゃないですか。
But you're not getting through completely. Right? Because he doesn't end up there.
その時、悪魔がやってきた。俺は悪魔を見ないようにすれ違った。見ちゃいけない。見ちゃいけない。絶対見ちゃいけない。俺は子供のように唱えていた。
Damn. Yeah, I think like he wouldn't have gotten through to everybody. Like, I mean, I think he would have probably agitated somebody like Tenma or shocked them. But Tenma being exposed to Johan so much probably would not have reacted to that as much. And there's certainly also other people who wouldn't have been faced by that. But obviously, having done a lot of research about somebody, you can recite that, and you can come to some logical conclusions that might be spot on or very close to the target. And with a little bit of psychology, you'll probably be able to guess what is bothering them, what they feel guilty about, stuff like that. More Ava. And more Tenma. The man who knew too much. Yeah. I mean, like I said, this guy, I never took him seriously, but he has a little bit of that Johann spark in him. Not completely, right? Like his nose is very sharp and looks very mean, kind of like a weasel. Obviously, probably on purpose to make it like that, to make his grin extra shit-eating. And not everybody would react to that, but obviously it's a very emotional story for Mr. Martin here, right? Martin was his name. And not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows so much about him. And he was unprepared. Like all of these things. He went in there wanting to find out more about this person, right? Because of what Ava said, and found out that they know eerily, like that they know a lot about him, and that he isn't sure why they know that or how they know that. And that can be really, really disturbing, especially if it's something that you feel so guilty about, if it's something that you feel so strongly about. And if it's something that connects 2 points of your life, right, that's especially hard. You gotta think about this. Oftentimes, psychological diseases or disorders, they develop not just through past or like young childhood, young adulthood trauma, but also through triggers that happen in your life at that point in time. So there's not just the foundation of what really shook you to the core during your development, maybe. It's also the constant and severe stress that you are being exposed to at the very moment that this disease starts to develop. And it's obviously not a traditional disease in that sense. It's more like a dysfunction on the mental, psychological, and the neuropsychological side. Right? You can't deal with whatever is going on in your life, and it triggers something that is kind of a vulnerability that developed when you were young. That's one of the reasons why people who have experienced trauma in childhood don't necessarily develop a mental disorder. Because obviously you can experience trauma in childhood and then be given the time and the care and the social support to actually process it. That is possible, and it happens, and that is a great thing, right? And but not everybody is so fortunate, and many people maybe also through the way they grew up exist in environments that are more prone to stress, that are more prone to pressure, more prone to additional trauma, which then will trigger things that, like vulnerabilities, weaknesses that lie deep beneath the surface. And that's the case here, right? For him, it's the I mean, he obviously doesn't have a mental disorder or whatever, but for him, it's it's like shaking him to the core, and this madman with his grin on his face is telling him all of these things. I think he thinks he manipulated him to kill Eva. I think that was the intention, because he knew he didn't kill her. But that didn't go through, and it didn't arrive where it was supposed to arrive. If it was Johan would have done that easy. And he's like a Johan follower. He's like a fanatic. He's like, I want to see my God, basically. I want to see the devil. I want to learn from him. And he was about to test his skill in that already, in manipulating people and finding out the secrets about them, right? But yeah, I don't think things are gonna go the way he wants them to go. But yeah, all in all, very interesting episode. Not as cool and interesting and spectacular as the last couple of episodes and arcs in general, but still really cool, right? We do have some nice animation on the one-sided fist fights with Tenma, and him being very, very self-righteous here in defending Eva, basically in what seems at first glance like a scorned lover or something, because he doesn't know enough about it, right? And even then, it's like, even if he knows everything and she told him everything, there's still the question of maybe he sees the suffering of her and is like, it's your fault, right? Even if it's not really his fault. But depending on how Eva told it, might look like that. But yeah, they basically used her. She's pointing out Johan at the party so they can introduce themselves to him and actually get into his inner circle. Tenma being all like, you better tell me. But then as the conversation goes on, great, by the way, with like the mirror. I love this, and Monster does that a lot, and it does it really, really well with like the window shots reflecting off of us and whatnot. And they both realize she is in trouble, she's in danger. Tenma realizes it first, and then through his realization, he realizes it, and he goes for the rescue. She's begging to die here because she doesn't see any sense in her life anymore, right? Except for alcohol. And she sees she can't go back to her old life, but she can't start a new one. She doesn't have a home. She feels lost in the world. Kind of without an identity, almost without a name, if you want to go back to some of the earlier episodes. Yeah, cool stuff. Decent cinematography in general. As always, Monster's very solid with everything, especially setting up shots and everything. All cool. We're gonna be back soon with more Monster. Like and subscribe. Always helps. Always great. Check out my Patreon if you want to. And I'll see you next time.